Welcome, season 6. Are you ready for another amazing week? Before we get started, let's go ahead and jump on the scale and see how we did last week.
Chandra, 235.8.
Tammy, 258.2.
Dan Martin, 234.4.
Shelby, 222.1. Kimberly Valenciano, 203.
Megan Trombley, 239.4.
Allison, 207.4.
In 12th place, down 15.8 pounds, 5.47%. Jill, congratulations, Jill, way to go. In 11th place, down 16 pounds, 6.33%. Kimberly G. Great job, Kimberly G. Holding down the 11th spot. In 10th place, down 14.2 pounds, 6.46%. Sheila. Way to go, Sheila.
Hey.
Go, Sheila. I don't know, that's a song. I got this song. In 9th place, down 14.8 pounds, 6.79%. Kimberly V, as in victory. Way to go, Kimberly V. In 8th place, down 23.4 pounds, 7.43%. Keeping it awesome herself, Kia. Way to go, Kia. In 7th place, down 17.9 pounds, 7.45% is Shelly. Way to go, Shelly. In 6th place, down 21.5 pounds, 7.68%. Tammy, way to go, Tammy.
Way to go, Tammy. Woohoo.
And the top 5. If you're not here, I can't mention your name and I can't give your percentages. So this is why you want to be on time. Just kidding you, of course. The top 5. In 5th place, down 15.4 pounds, 7.79%. Tawana, way to go. Is she here? All right, way to go, Tawana. Good job. In 4th place, down 20.8 pounds, 9.09%. Allison, way to go, Allison. Good job. Here are the top 3. Down 24.4 pounds. I'll tell you what, this top 3 is tight. This is a tight little race here. 24.4 pounds, 9.28%. Megan, nice job. Way to go, Megan. All right, down to the top 2. Down 24.2 pounds, 9.35%. Dan the man is in the hizzy. Good job, Dan. Holding down the top spot where it seems like forever because she's got a great mentor. It's just kidding. She did all the work. I'm just the rah-rah guy. Down 26.3% or 26.3 pounds, 10.03%. Chandra. Woo!
All right. Well, today, do y'all want to know what we're talking to you about? Are you excited? You don't seem excited, so we're not talking about anything. We're going to go home now. Are you excited to see what we're talking about?
We're all muted.
Yes.
Yes.
So today we are going to be talking about the gray zone. The gray zone is that area between 100% on plan and 100% back to our regularly scheduled fluffy business, all right? It's not an expression of your commitment to the program or the plan, but you're using your best judgment to modify the plan to meet your current needs. Fun fact, you do not have to be 100% off in every aspect of the plan for you to be considered in the gray zone. And guess what? Some of us are in this exact moment. That's right. Some of you, look at the cameras, some of you in this moment are living in the gray zone. And believe it or not, some of you are living in the gray zone and still achieving major results. So tonight, our BT5 family would like to share how the gray zone impacts every aspect of the plan and how to pull yourself back from out of the gray and back to black and white. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to my good friend, Heather.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Heather C., and I'm with the Fabulous Season 5. I am here to talk to you about water consumption and the gray zone. That being in the gray zone with your water can look like guesstimating how much water you're drinking, how much you've had throughout the day, drinking out of last night's water bottle and not properly measuring, just not keeping track. So I wanted to talk a little bit about ways to get out of the gray zone and really track your water, because the reason why I wanted this topic is because I have struggled with getting my water consumption in. So this is something I have learned, and this program has helped tremendously. So planning is a major key to success with every aspect of this program, and it's the same for getting in your gallon of water a day. Plan what your day is going to be like. If you have errands to run, if you're going to be working outside of the home, or if you're traveling, plan how much water you're going to bring with you, plan where you're going to be stopping to get your next source of water, and make sure that you can track how much you're drinking throughout the day. One reason that I have struggled with getting my water in is because, like many people, I confuse hunger for thirst. So learn your body's cues. Learn when you're actually thirsty and when you're hungry. Another thing is, for me, I'm forgetful. So I like to set timers. I set a few hours a day. I will pick to where I set 5 to 15 minute timers, and I will chug during that time period. So like Carmen says, to drink your 10 gulps of water per sip. Sometimes I can't quite get to 10, but if I strive for that each time, it adds up. So chug as much as you can. And a tip from a few of my team members, Jerry and Catherine, they recommend getting half of your water in before noon. And obviously if your hours are different, if you work third shift, I know Kimberly, you do. So you can adjust the time period for you, but for us, try to get in half of your water by noon, because it really helps with not having to feel like you have to chug tons of water at the end of the day, and not being up all night peeing, because that's annoying. And, we all need our rest. So another thing is to have a consistent way to measure and track your water. So I start with a fresh gallon every day, and I have a few different ways to drink it. So this is my big jug, and this holds 5 cups of water. So I fill this up 3 times, and then I have 1 more cup of water at night, and I'm good. If I don't feel like using my jug, I like to use my Pretty Little Mermaid cup, which I think you can see. And I just, again, pour into that from my jug of water. So I know that jug has to be empty by the end of the day. So track your water. There are so many apps that can help you. MyFitnessPal, Beachbody. There's even apps that you can set reminders to your phone every hour to drink your water. Be consistent, and it's important, and you can do this.
Hello, everyone. My name is Afia Perkins, and I am part of Season 5. So I'm going to talk to you all today about being consistent with your nutrition and staying out of the gray zone with your nutrition. So I have 5 tips. I'm going to keep it simple. So the first tip is, you cannot outrun a bad diet. I'll say it again. You cannot outrun a bad diet. Everything that goes in your mouth will show up on the scale. So it's important, tip number 1, to plan what you eat. Planning is critical. Carmen has given us many tools to do this, whether it is on Sunday, making all your meals for 48 hours or for the week, or the night before saying, I'm gonna have this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Planning is number 1. Number 2, consistency is key. What we have found with some of our people who've been at the leaderboard, Jerry being one of them, Heather N being one of them, consistency is key. You have a plan, stick to it. There's no need to try to cut carbs out or try to do something on one day. Stick to the plan. It works. It's worked for Carmen. It's working for all of you, and it worked for all of us. The third is take your cheats. We are a coin-operated society. You are earning these cheats. So plan your cheats, earn your cheats, and take your cheats. The third is don't go alone, right? There is an African proverb that I found that I'll talk about in a second, but this accountability group, we're not doing this by ourselves. We are successful because we have a community. We have a community of people who are experiencing the same things that we are. We can pour into each other. We can pour into them. You're not doing this by yourself, right? So don't do it alone. Come into the group when you need support. Come into the group when you want to encourage people. Share your recipes, share your food. You're not doing this alone. And the fifth is you are who you are, who are you becoming? So said differently, don't worry about the talk track of, well, at least I'm not doing what I used to do. Well, at least I'm doing better than I used to. Well, before I would cheat with a whole day of food. So if I have a Big Mac, it's not as bad as it used to be. No. Forget about who you were. Let's talk about who you are becoming. If you continue to compare yourself to who you were, you'll be stuck in that rut. Start focusing on who you're becoming. The African proverb that I was going to share is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You have your season 6 to go with you.
So I get the good fortune to talk to you about my favorite topic, which is working out. For those of you that know me, it's easy. But before I mention the workout, I want to touch on a point that Afia made that I think is really important. And the common thread that you've heard from Adeswa, and you've heard from Heather C, and you've heard from Afia is planning and mindset, right? So that's why it's so important. But the point that Afia just made that I think needs to be kind of talked about a little more, and you guys may be questioning yourselves and what this looks like, is she said, don't skip the carb. A lot of people think that by eating less food, you're going to lose more weight. So you'll have a tendency to kind of chop the program. Like the gray zone thinking is, hey, well, if I don't eat that, my program says I get to have 3 carbs, but if I only eat 2 carbs, I'm going to lose more weight, and I'm going to beat the person in front of me, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. That's a terrible idea from someone who knows it. When Adeswa was talking about the gray zone, that's Old Smoky right here. I lost 70 pounds in 4.5 months, living most of that time in the gray zone. Finished number 2 in our group, ran into a buzzsaw, and my friend Ken Brown could not beat the man, did his thing. The point of this story is, do not try to beat the plan. The plan works. Heather's done it. Carmen just preaches it. So don't try to say, well, I'm going to skip this cheat and I'm going to do these things and, it's going to work. It doesn't work. Let me share that with you. That is, Afia was spot on. So I'll start talking about the subject that I wasn't supposed to talk about. Let's talk about the workout. So the workout is dope to me. I fell in love with this process, and that's one of the things that Carmen talks about, is you have to fall in love with the process. So what I found the gray zone in working out is that there are a bunch of excuses. If you don't plan for it, it never gets done. So let's talk about 3 topics: planning, mindset, and execution. So proper planning is vital to proper execution. You can't have one without the other. You can have excuses or you can have results. You can't have both, right? I can make excuses why I can't work out, or I can work out and get results, but I can't do both of them at the same time. The key is not the will to win. Everybody's got that. Everybody's got the will to win. It's the will to prepare to win that's important, right? So if we're not preparing to win, doesn't matter, right? We all have this desire, this innate desire to want to be successful, to want to be the best, to beat my friend in number one, to be number two, to be number three. If you're not willing to take the steps to prepare in order to take that leadership, then you're not going to get to that leadership position. Does that make sense? Right? So it's all about proper planning. So 6 days a week, you owe it to yourself to prepare for the challenge that's in front of you. We wake up every single morning, 6 days a week, to give ourselves the opportunities to succeed. It starts with setting the right standard. I talk about it in our group a lot. Heather gets tired of me talking about it, but it's a standard, right? I always say, what's your standard? My standard, not your goal. Your goal is just this fluffy little dream. Your standard is, what are you willing to do every single time? And that's your go-to, your non-negotiable. This is your pillar, right? So it starts with setting the right standard. Do you feed your body the right fuel it needs to prepare you to excel? This is all about planning. If we're not eating the right food, we're not going to excel, right? That's number one. Did you get the rest that you need to make yourself proud? So did you get enough sleep? Did you get enough food? In our group, there is some discussion in our season. I keep saying our group. In our season, there's discussion about people that don't get enough sleep. I get that. But not having enough sleep will impact your ability to get up in the morning and do the things that you're supposed to be doing, right? Or the afternoon, or whenever your workout is. Mine's first thing. When I hit my feet hit the floor, I'm job one, I'm priority one. So did you hydrate? Back to the water. Did you hydrate, or are you depleted? Because if you're dehydrated, you can't exercise and compete at a high level, right? Because guess what you're competing with? You're competing with yourself. It's you versus you. It's not you versus this leaderboard. Please, it's great to be competitive. I am the most competitive person on the planet, but I know at some point I had to recognize my workout is against me. That's it. It's not against Shelly. It's not against Megan. It's not against Kia. It's against me. So do you push yourself throughout the workout to see the results, or do you just check the boxes for completion? I don't know. So you got to answer that question. I can't answer that question for you. How hard are you working to get the things that you say you want? Right? That's all about planning. So here's the mindset. In a mindset, approach each workout with a mindset of working towards failure. I work towards failure because I know on the other side of failure is what? It's success, right? I'm working to push my body to the point that my body says, no more, you're done. And then I'm pushing some more, because it's the weak part telling your body what you can and what can't do. Your body's capable of so much more than your mind can conceive. Challenge yourself to compete with yourself to push further than you thought was possible. It's you versus you. We're given the gift of the opportunity. I talked about this the other day with season 5. We're given the gift of the opportunity. We have the opportunity to do the work that gives us the results we want to achieve. I ask you to not take that for granted. There are lots of people that applied for your spot on this show in this season that are doing that don't have the opportunities to do what you're doing right now. I asked you to not take that for granted.
You are in the focus phase for your transformation. You have been chosen to be here for such a time as this. You get to do this transformation. You get to receive this gift of change. And it's amazing. We have all been where you are. And when you keep going, the things that are going to happen for you are amazing. You are going to reap what you sow. So how do you stay focused? It's going to be different for everybody. What are you going to go to when you're feeling discouraged? This is another part of planning. So your mindset is everything. Mistakes, problems, they are really just opportunities to learn and how to recover. It's about progress, not perfection. So how are you going to recover? How are you going to stay on track? You can go back and rewatch your why video, see how far you've come, help recommit yourself. You can go in your group and ask for help, and ask your mentors for help. Read that contract that you signed. You were important enough to yourself to commit to that contract. You are totally worthy for all the gifts and all the rewards that are going to come with the execution of that contract. You can stay the course. This is only a season. It is a small blip in the rest of your life, the rest of your healthy life. It's not only about the nutrition you're feeding your body. You need to feed your mind and then let it be life-giving, the information going into your mind. Put up the barriers to the negativity and all the other bad things. You have to stand guard at the entrance of your mind.
All right, well, that's everyone. So I get to give you the wrap up. So here's the reality. As I said at the beginning, as my friend Jerry admitted, you will find yourself in the gray zone. It is inevitable. You are not immune to it. I'm not immune to it. I have found myself there a lot of times and have had my good friends like Jerry call me out and say, what are you doing, sister? Get it together. So, but the thing is that we shared a lot of information about what the gray zone is. And I want to tell you how, when you find yourself there, how to break yourself the heck out of there, right? Because you don't need to stay there just because you're there. You acknowledge it and we move on. And so here's our season 5 tips for breaking out of the gray zone. First off, know how you're drinking your water and what time it will be done. I travel a lot. I have 3 weeks of travel headed up right now. The way that I drink my water at home and the way that I drink my water on the road are 2 different ways. And again, having that plan allows me to be prepared about drinking my water and to ensure that I'm able to hit my goals. Number 2, cheats are a celebration of your dedication and commitment to improving your life. I'm going to read that to you again. Cheats are a celebration of your dedication and commitment to improving your life. That means you need to always take your cheats. We, in season 5, I think every single one of us at some point in time said, we're not going to take that cheat. I'm too close to hitting my next decade. I'm too close to hitting my next whatever. Or, oh, I really struggled on this last 5 pounds. I don't want to take my cheat. That's horrible for you to do. If you don't take your cheats, it makes you later on down the line, when you get stuck, you start feeling like, you know what, I kind of earned that Snickers bar 5 weeks ago and I never took it. So I'm going to take it right now. And it gets you into that gray zone mentality of thinking. So make sure you always celebrate your successes and tell yourself, like, I earned this Whataburger and I'm going to eat it and I'm going to enjoy it. Number 3, know your whys. What is the one thing that I'm going to do better during my workout today? I can tell you that I've done P90X, we did bar blend, I've done a lot of things. And if you try to go in there and say, I'm going to knock this whole workout out, it's very challenging to do. Jerry is a workout god. You know, he's amazing at it. But we need to know, like, what is it? Just pick one thing. Like, today I'm going to do those burpees. I remember when I got my first barbell and burpees where I could actually do like 5 of them. I was like, wow, this is great. So the next day I went in there and said, I'm going to do 6 of those. So pick that one thing in your workout, whether it be, I'm going to wake up earlier and get it done, or I'm going to work out harder than I did yesterday. Pick that one thing that you can do better in your workout to make yourself successful, and focus on that and celebrate that. Number 4, it matters what you feed your mind as much as it matters what you feed your body. Do not sit in stinking thinking. Rephrase, refocus, and redirect your energy. I can tell you that I think all of my season family, we have all sat in some stinking thinking and talked ourselves out of it. And I can tell you personally for myself that I'm the worst one of the bunch. And you have to redirect yourself. If you fail today, if this is convicting you, as Carmen likes to say, and you're like, man, I really am in the gray zone and I'm here, that's great. Acknowledge the fact that you're there and do something to change your direction, but do not sit here feeling any type of way tomorrow, because that's only going to keep you where you're at. You have to get in control of your mind. This is a journey, not a marathon. This is a marathon and a journey. Like, it's going to take you time to change your mindset, but I can tell you, you've got to get control over your mind.
If you could go back in time, what would you say to your 18-year-old self?
Oh, it's funny because the last seasons that I've watched, I've prepared myself for these questions, and now I'm being asked it, and I'm like drawing a blank. What would I tell myself? I'd probably tell myself that, you make it a lot harder than what it really is. Get out of your head and just do it.
And I would say to my 18-year-old self to talk with a therapist sooner. Treat your mind sooner. Don't be that guy that has to try to push through it till he's 38 to 40.
I would say to my 18-year-old self that I am stronger than I think. I am worthy, and I deserve the best health that you can have in life, because it rewards me with everything that I want to do and be.
I think I would tell my 18-year-old self, continue working out like you did when you were 18 and don't ever stop.
Oh man. I would say, one, you are loved, and two, you don't have to do everything in your own strength. Those are some things I would love to go back and say to myself.
I would say to my 18-year-old self, stop making excuses and avoiding your healing. I think I was really avoiding and making excuses about things that needed to be healed in my life. And then it's okay to be fit. It's not a betrayal of relationships. It's just being healthy. It's not, you're not going to lose people. You're not betraying people. It's just being fit for yourself.
I would probably tell myself to learn how to live in the moment and not get so wrapped up on what I thought of myself or what I thought others thought of me, and really just paying more attention to the labels that I put on myself and, keeping that in check.
I think I would say to my 18-year-old self is to definitely seek help, but then to also ask for help and not try to go at it alone.
So
I would say to my 18-year-old self, don't handle the world on your own shoulders. And it isn't selfish to put yourself first.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be afraid of change. And don't worry about what other people think about you.
I would tell my 18-year-old self to love yourself, to put yourself first. That's mental, your health, and spiritual. I will also tell myself, my 18-year-old self, that it's okay to make a mistake or bad decision, but learn to forgive you. I would tell my 18-year-old self, when you make a mistake or a bad decision, that to learn to forgive yourself and don't always beat yourself up, and to learn to let it go. And lastly, I would say that it's okay to say no. You don't always have to be a yes person.
I would tell myself to stay active. I was very active all throughout school. And then when I graduated, I kind of went downhill. So I would tell myself to stay active. And I would also tell myself not to withdraw from life, to stay out there and not let my mental, thoughts about guilt and things like that keep me from doing the things that I should be doing and staying social.
So, season 6, thank you. First of all, thank you for blessing us, a couple of the cast members from season 5 with your presence. It has been truly amazing seeing you all where we were, and just seeing how far you all have come as Jerry ran through the standings. So congratulations. As we close out this call and you all are kicking off week 7, a couple things I want you to remember. Anyone can start off strong, right? They can get those results the first or second week. But the truth is, most people, somewhere between week 6 and 10, start to slip into the gray zone. Come back to this video, watch this recording, reach out to us, reach out to your mentor, reach out to any of us, right? We are here to support you. It does naturally happen, but we want you to stay in the black and white, stay out of the gray. It takes intention to stay out of it, intention. So this week, I want you all to take an evaluation. Where am I going to be strong this week? Where am I flirting with the gray zone? Am I using my containers? Am I drinking out of that bottle of water from last night? Really take account of those areas where you can lean into and stay out of the gray zone. I hope you all have a blessed and fabulous week. I hope week 7 is better than week 6, and it continues to get better from here. We are so happy you are here and so blessed that you all are on this journey with us.